If you're invested in cryptocurrency, you have to think about if the cryptocurrency market lost half of its value or more, would you be able to survive with your investments taking that hit? Would you be able to hold those investments until they recover? These are questions you have to ask yourself. Now, personally, I believe it's important to take profits. As you see the value of your cryptocurrency investment increase, transferring your gains to a stable coin or back into cash, right? Which, by the way, both would be subject to capital gains tax, just so you know. But realizing your profits instead of just seeing the value on a screen is very important, unless you have a long-term strategy, right? So if your strategy with crypto is just buy it incrementally, hold it for 10, 20 years, then what I'm saying here is totally unrelated to you. But if you're investing and you have more of a short-term strategy, then it's important to get like a plan together of how you're going to take profits at the point that you see gains in your cryptocurrency portfolio. So again, you can just simply transfer it to a stable coin. You can transfer it into cash that you can put into another asset. But it's important to take profits when you see gains, because we can see that the crypto market is very volatile. It can crash by 10, 20% at any given time or more. So just kind of evaluate how much risk you have. Can you stand substantial losses? Can you ride through that? Now, there is still a lot to be determined when it comes to cryptocurrency, because there's a lot of regulation that hasn't been fully flushed out or revealed. I believe there's going to be definitely more regulation to come. The cryptocurrency space is a little over a decade old at this point, and relatively speaking, there's still not a large part of the population invested and involved in cryptocurrency as a whole, because it's just a completely new technology. Now, when you think about the fact that the metaverse is on the horizon, it's here, or it's on the cusp of being maybe a big thing, we'll see. Again, regulations by the Federal Reserve, as well as the soon to come CBDC, which is the central bank digital currency. You have to think about, like, how is that going to affect the crypto markets when the central banks, the Federal Reserve, issue their own digital coin? How is it going to affect, all of these other cryptos? Again, it remains to be seen, because we don't know what kind of regulations are going to come about. One of the things that cryptos were supposed to do was help create a more financially independent route. But I don't personally see the Federal Reserve, the central banks, giving up that control easily. They've had the control on the financial system, money supply, for eons. And I don't think that they're going to give it up easily. So they are coming with their own central bank digital currency. As of now, they've stated 2023. Some people think it's going to come a lot sooner than that, maybe sometime this year. It could come in response to a crash, right? A cyber attack with the banking system. It could come as a result of that. We don't really know yet. We're just kind of waiting and seeing what all of that is going to look like. It's important, though, again, to make sure that you're just preparing yourself for these what if scenarios. If you're preparing yourself, you don't usually have to worry as much. Again, these things are not always pleasant to think about, but if you're preparing yourself, you don't have to worry. You can literally take these things into consideration and just prepare your own self for the what ifs that might come. Again, CBDC is on the horizon. We don't know how that's going to affect the crypto markets and regulation that may come as a result. So just keep that in mind.